I've heard it all when it comes to credit. There's a lot of misconceptions floating out, and in this video, we are going to go ahead and separate some of these. Everything from checking your credit score can hurt your credit, or you got to have a perfect credit score to be able to get approved for anything, or your credit score pretty much defines your entire life. A lot of these things are pure misconception, and in this, we are going to go ahead and separate the truth from what is actually not. So you definitely want to check out everything we're going to talk about in this, because we are going to break down some of these myths and misconceptions when it comes into credit that you definitely need to know. So let's get straight into it, and let's not hold back any.
This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it, cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for checking out the Respect My Blueprint show, as we give you all of the game and gems you need to hear about personal entrepreneurship as well as investing. This video is long overdue in 5 because I have heard it all. As you guys can see, I'm gonna get straight into it, no fluff or anything like that, as a lot of people are having a lot of misconceptions about credit. Me being in the personal finance, I feel like I wanted to go ahead and release this video to go ahead and clear up some of these misconceptions and give you guys some of the truth as far as when it comes to credit and what you would need to know. First things, credit is the most powerful financial tool that you can ever possess in this country. It's used to build not only generational wealth and financial freedom for you, but it's also one of those things that's largely misunderstood. It's something that is not taught to us as we're going through the education system. It's like we have to learn through the trials and tribulations of it as we're getting into it. So I want to go ahead and break down some of the myths about credit and spread a little more awareness, and so a lot of people can have a better understanding of this important financial tool that you need to have a good understanding if you're wanting to be able to go ahead and live life in your terms and unlock financial freedom for yourself. Okay, so, and of course I understand, I get it. I'm no different than many others, having to learn the hard, right? Like most of us, we end up graduating high school, getting our first credit, getting a student or getting our first apartment, and end up messing all that stuff, right? Getting ourselves a debt without necessarily knowing how to manage, how to be able to go ahead and utilize it or leverage credit to art. So it took me a while to be able to understand truly how credit works and how to be able to use it to be able to build generational wealth for myself, as well as to be able to unlock financial freedom and live life the way I truly see how other successful individuals have, how they've been able to leverage it for themselves and their families. I'm super excited about this video. So we're going to talk about some of the biggest misconceptions of credit out there and what you need to know to be able to go ahead and fully understand it. All right, first things first. Now, myth number one is I need a perfect credit. And let me just go ahead and get this out the way. You do not need a perfect credit score. Your credit score does not actually define everything as far as who you are when it comes to getting approved for credit cards, loans, or anything like that. It is more or less your credit profile. Of course, a lot of us focus on the score because that is the 3-digit number that most of us see when we view our, and also it's the most ubiquitous consumer facing aspect of art, which is it is truly your credit profile that plays a bigger role when it comes to your credit. And what I mean by your credit, it is an accumulation or the entire big picture of your, and that includes not only your credit as well as all of the data that goes into all of this. So it's your entire credit, and this includes your personal information section that has a large indirect impact on your credit, as well as how you're handling the accounts on your credit, whether you're on time with your payments, whether you're keeping your utilization low. Any other public information that's on your credit report plays a big factor and most people are unaware of even inquiries which, although it may not play a significant impact on your credit score, it does play an impact on your profile. A client's 700 plus credit score but still get denied for an auto loan or trying to achieve because they've had too many inquiries. So your credit score is not the end all be. It really is your credit. So you more or less want to focus on your entire overall credit picture versus just the credit score itself. Blueprint Wealth event is finally come. You guys have been asking for it. Guess what? Now it's here now. March 28th and 29th. This is the #1 exclusive event for all entrepreneurs, business-minded individuals to be able to take their business to the next level. If you want to learn and tap in with us to be able to go ahead and build your business, unlock business credit, also build your personal credit, tap into this event. What we're going to be speaking about is strategies in real estate, how to be able to leverage your personal credit to build business credit to be able to go ahead and get into investments. Also, if you want to learn how to be able to create content, start your own podcast, you need to go ahead and check out this event. This is the #1 event. Again, March 28th and 29th here in Hollywood, Florida. If you want more information on how to grab your tickets, check in www.blueprintmovement.com. And guess what? I'm gonna catch you at the event. Myth number 2, a lot of people have a misconception about checking your credit score will hurt your. That is not the. Don't be scared to check your own credit score. There's a difference between a hard and a soft inquiry, which I'm going to quickly break that down for you. When you check your credit score on platforms such as Credit Karma or Uptrend Credit, that is considered as a soft inquiry, which does not your credit score at. As a matter of fact, most lenders do not even see any. It's not a consumer-facing inquiry when it comes to checking your. When you're applying for, such as going to a car dealership or a credit card or a mortgage or anything like that, is considered the hard. It does impact your credit and does impact your credit scores. Rule of thumb, you don't want to have too many hard inquiries within a short amount of, as having too many hard not only can drop your credit score by up to 5 or more, having too many hard inquiries in a short amount of time does raise your risk level of view risk in the eyes of lenders when they want to go ahead and extend you creditor. I definitely encourage you guys to check your credit, as a soft inquiry does not play any impact on you. You shouldn't be hiding from checking your credit in the first place. I think really is a right that you have to be able to have access to your credit. So I encourage you at least once per month, you check your credit. There's platforms out there like where you'll be able to access all 3 of your credit reports at no cost to you. All right. So make sure you do, but breaking down the checking your credit will not hurt your credit and does not impact your score. All right. So keep that in mind before you go ahead and second guess whether you want to go ahead and check your credit or not. Number 3 on another myth that I see that's floating out there is closing any old accounts will. Closing old accounts is definitely not a good idea. If you have any credit cards or any lines of credit that's on your credit, by closing these accounts just for the sake of closing them can hurt your credit, because that is going to play into the factor of your length of credit, which I should have said this at the beginning of there's 5 factors that impacts your credit score: payment history, 30% utilization, 15% length of credit, 10% credit mix, and 10%. Now, closing down accounts or closing down credit cards, that's going to affect category, which is length of, and that's 15% of your credit score. Every time that you close, and what that's going to do, that's going to reduce or dilute the average age of history on your credit report. And by doing this can significantly impact your credit. Like the example I gave earlier about the same thing goes for your length of credit. As I've had plenty of situations as far as clients and where they've had a perfect profile, made all their payments on time, low utilization, limited inquiries. However, they were still denied for credit because they've closed down credit, believing in the misconception closing credit cards or having too many credit cards hurt you. Listen, those credit cards end up dropping the age down where they had a good 4 or 5 years. They end up closing credit cards that brought them down to 1 year or 1.5 years. And guess what? Lenders still denied them because in the lender's eyes, it's like you don't have enough track record with. Why should we trust you as you are practically doing the games? So you definitely don't want to be closing any credit, as closing credit cards can temporarily drop your credit score because that's now an active account that's removed off of your credit report as well. Keep accounts open. Make sure you just be very diligent and prudent before you even apply for the credit card in the first place. Make sure that it's serving a purpose, that it serves for your lifestyle before you even apply for it. So therefore, you never get to the point of having to decide whether you want to go ahead and close it. Moving on to the next is another very big misconception. The 4th and final misconception we're going to talk about is paying off debt will fix my credit. Paying off debt, I will never advocate against. Paying off debt, of course, is very, but it's not the only thing that you should be doing. The main things you need to factor in is the first two factors I mentioned, which is your payment history and your utilization. Just those two factors alone accounts for 65% of your score. Think about it. Over half of your credit score is accounted by these two major factors, right? So, it's really not paying off your debt that will fix your credit. It's truly making sure that you have flawless payment history and you keep your utilizations below. That's all together, cumulatively, as well as individually. All right. So you want to make sure that each one of your accounts individually are below 30% and all of the accounts together on your credit report are below 30% as well. The premium spot that you want to be is 10% of. If you have 10% of, you're really going to maximize all of the impacts as well as effects on this particular category. It's all about being a smart credit, not just paying things off. All right. Paying off, never advocate against it, but it's more importantly, just doing the right steps of being smart with the credit that you have. Pretty much that's all of the misconceptions that I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys that I see that a lot of people are believing in. And that's some of the biggest misconceptions out there. There's plenty of others out there, but I felt like these four are the four biggest misconceptions out there and more of the common ones that I do want to see people avoid. Credit and financial literacy is something that's becoming a lot more popular and a lot more prevalent as we move into this digital age and digital economy that we're in right now. Information is power, so it's very important to arm yourselves with the information that you would need to be able to live the life that you want, as well as leverage the most important financial tool you will ever possess. And it's over 80% of individuals have errors on their credit report. Over 60% of Americans are living paycheck to. If you look at some of the statistics out, it still shows there's a lot of people that are unaware and unknowledgeable about how truly credit. So if you want a better understanding of how credit works and how to be able to not fall into some of these traps, and join the Credit Game Academy, as we have a dope academy that will not only help you and give you the education to be able to not fall into some of these, but also if you're suffering from bad credit and you're struggling to get to that 700, or you're looking to be able to help learn about business, we do have a community that can help you to be able to better understand it. The link is down below and definitely check it out, as it will help you better understand how the world of credit works. But other than that, thanks for tuning in today. So if you got a lot of great, do me a huge favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, right? That is the only thing that we actually return. That's the virtual currency that we need to know. We're doing somewhat of a job over here, as well as hit the bell notification, as we are dropping 2 videos per week to help you guys to be able to level up in 2025 on your personal finance as well as your entrepreneurship journey. And more, if there's any other misconceptions that felt like that we left out, or you would need better clarification, drop your comment in the video, as me and my team would definitely respond and give you all of the 411 and information you need to be able to go ahead and level up in your journey. But thanks for tapping in, thanks for tuning in, and we're gonna catch you on the flip side. Take care. Peace.
Blueprint, yeah. This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it, cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement. Yep, let's Paul with Blueprint. This guests are exclusive. Get on and tune in and then learn some new tips about credit, finance, investment. A nice chance to get rich and buy land. Flip it, quick 9 bands. Learn all the skills from Wes, he did it. Learn how to build successful business. Run up a mill and get the digits. Run up a mill. Look, safe place where guests are speaking. Based off financial freedom. All facts, no cap, believe it. Podcast, you have to see it.